Bettina and I were very fortunate to having lived with a Scotty like Hitchcock. He was unique because as an underdog in the world of agility sports, he inspired many people around the world on social media.
Actually, it was even the first Scotty qualifying for an international agility championships. But making that film turned into a true story of love. Because in the end, it's not about the agility achievement, but how dogs can teach us how to enjoy and live the moment and to show how beautiful life is.
Over the years, we have created many clips of Hitchcock and the other Scotties. So the followers encouraged us to make a documentary feature. And since we are working professionally in this business, we thought that's a good idea. So we did it.
As a first step, Bettina spent months reviewing over 300 hours of film footage, spanning a period of 17 years. At the same time, she began writing a script based on the true story. Before Mike could start editing, Bettina had to sort all the footage by content and spread it across more than 60 timelines in the editing software. For Mike, it was the beginning of an unprecedented post-production marathon. It took a total of 1.5 years in the editing room to create a rough cut, including countless adjustments. This was followed by a ping-pong exchange between Mike and Bettina, with Bettina working her way through the rough cut to add further footage, propose changes and improvements.
Most of the footage that we needed for the film has been created spontaneously over the years. So we took it out of the archive, and that was the basic of doing this production.
Since Mike is a film professional, the camera was always there. In daily life, or on hiking tours, or in vacation on the beaches in Scotland, wherever. How fortunate, because otherwise we would never have been able to make this film.
As a professional dog trainer, Bettina was taking care of the performance of the dogs in front of the camera, and I was looking for technical issues behind, and so we were a good team. And it was hard work, but we always had a good time, and I think that swapped over to the dogs, and we all had fun in the end, and I think that's what this whole thing is all about.
This is very important, because the dogs can't choose what we are doing with them. We are in power, so it's very important to be aware of this responsibility, that we do stuff that the dogs also enjoy, that they have fun being in front of the camera. This is very important.
In addition to most of the existing footage, additional scenes had to be shot for the film, such as the Scotty Sculptor exhibition in Scotland, or on the most remote beaches of the Outer Hebrides. This was often a challenge, as there was no crew available, and Mike had to fly the drone while simultaneously acting in the scene. Finley, the younger Scotty, had a special role as the narrator of the story. It was a training challenge for Bettina for him to sit quietly and look in a desired direction.
If you would like to train a dog successfully, you have to create a situation where the dog can show the desired behavior. Then you reward in the exact moment the desired behavior, and you increase the difficulty stepwise, so the dog really understands what will bring him success and reward. And with this kind of training, the dog really enjoys it, has fun, and will show tremendous performances.
Filming Finn's dream sequence was pretty crazy. Loading Mac into a trailer, transporting him to the Swiss Alps, then putting him on skis and taking him up to a mountain peak over 2,600 meters high in an aerial tramway. This attracted a lot of attention from mountain tourists. It was hard work, but the crew and the dogs had an incredible amount of fun during filming.
We dug a hole and put Mike and the camera on his back in this cold hole, and then we built a little obstacle in front of that hole, and our dogs then had to run off simultaneously at the same moment as Mac was pulled on a rope, and then they had to jump over that obstacle and over Mike and the camera, and this shows how courageous and great our dogs are.
Sally not only is a very good friend of ours, but also an excellent author.
Yeah, she's great with words. And that's why she contributed a lot to our script, because she not only put it into proper English, because English is not our native language, but she also added this British humor and charm.
And you know, remember when we were on this trip with her in Switzerland with the dogs on board, she was so funny and we just knew she had to be part of our team.
Although the scene illustrating the history of the breed was only brief, the research to find the best images and clarify their rights in archives worldwide was very extensive. Another piece of the puzzle was the compositing element, which our long-standing freelance editor, Raphael, created. Assignments from clients such as Swiss Tourism and various airlines resulted in a huge archive of film footage from Switzerland, which was ideal for use in the hiking scenes with the Scotties. Priska and Ruedi also took spectacular aerial photographs of nature for the film.
After 2 years in the post-production, the film had a rough cut length of about 3 hours. And this means the inevitable process of kill your darlings was necessary. It took months to shorten it to the 100 minutes, as it is now. And this process was not always easy.
From their distinctive looks, you may recognise that Hitchcock and Finley are Scottish Terriers.
Now it was time to find some great voice actors. Their way of narrating the film breathed unexpected life into it. Kitty, from Belgium, took on the role of narrator for all the words not told by a dog.
Which, like the Scotty dog, is rugged and sometimes challenging, but always beautiful.
When night falls, we like to cuddle up to our humans. I'm so good at snuggling that I'm considering a career as a pillow.
Max from Scotland voiced Finley, with a light, charming Scottish accent, because Finn is a Scottie.
Much better than a shrill alarm.
Since we have been filming this project over a long period of time, we have used quite a few cameras. For example, a smartphone is great for spontaneous scenes. Then we have used high-resolution cameras for landscapes, or high-speed camera for slow-motion scenes. On the water, we have been filming quite a bit with drones. And you know, in the end, you have to match all those looks, because every camera has a look, so we had to match it. And there was one person in charge for it, and that was Christoph. He's done a good job.
One of the last ventures in the whole post-production process was the animation of the Scotties for the title sequence. Bettina knew Marty's groovy art Scotty drawings from social media and was thrilled when she saw that he also created animations. It was all the more wonderful that he was happy to work for them, because he had been following Hitchcock online for years. Determining the movement sequences for these complex animations required a long preparation. For example, jumping, walking, running, doing bunny, etc. had first to be filmed from different perspectives to create a basis for Marty. These scenes were optimized in numerous online meetings and drawing sessions until they were finalized. It was exciting to witness the process of how the animations were created step by step, and the result was incredibly cute. Shortly before the end of post-production, sound editing presented another major hurdle. On the one hand, hundreds of sound effects had to be created or found for the film, which was over 1.5 hours long. On the other hand, thanks to the music archive built up over the last 20 years, they had countless opportunities to give the film the right emotional tone.
Islay is named after a Scottish island.
Before the final sound mix, the voices had to be added and all the tracks mixed. How fortunate that Max, the film's narrator, was able to mix the film. Mike travelled to Edinburgh at short notice and mixed the film together with Max.
I think the volume works here.
What an unforgettable adventure, and surely the beginning of a wonderful friendship.
You know, when you work for so many years on a film like we did with Hitchcock, you at times get insecure because you lose the feeling of what you're doing. We didn't know whether the people would like the film or do not like the film, or it was too long or too short or whatever. Before the screening took place, I was quite nervous, or we both were quite nervous because we didn't know what the reaction was. When we heard the applause in the end, we were so relieved. It goes beyond any description. After spending 3 years in the editing room and seeing the audience rave, after all this insecurity at times, I was very relieved, and so was Bettina.
You can see the love between Bettina and Mike and the dogs in the film. Beautifully made, yeah.
Ein wunderschöner Film, voller Emotionen gsi, eine schöne Geschichte.
Laughter, emotions, happiness, tears, everything all together.
Es ist einfach grandios. Mir ist einfach das Herz aufgegangen und für das möchte ich ganz herzlich Danke sagen.
And now we're very happy that the film has been completed, and we look forward and hope that it will be distributed all over the world.
It is just great to share our life with dogs and create memories with them that make life worth living.